Resolution Games, one of VR's biggest developers, is looking to be a leader in mixed reality gaming. Today we're going over a slew of announcements for Resolution, including multiple notes about the future of Demeo, one of my favorite virtual reality games. There are timestamps down below for your convenience. I did try to record some footage of this, but I do not own the Quest Pro, and the black and white pass-through on the Quest 2 looks positively awful when recorded, so I'm not going to subject you to that. If you're a gamer of a certain age, I say mid-30s and up, you probably had days where you and your buddies would all congregate at one house. You each brought your own controller, hooked it up to either an N64 or a PlayStation 2, and you would all game for hours on end. For me and my crew, it was always Mario Kart 64 or Smash Brothers. This eventually was termed couch co-op. Then online gaming became a thing, and this was replaced with you sitting alone in your room with a pair of headphones and a microphone talking to your friends and teammates via voice chat. That's all good and well, but I do miss being in a room full of gamers, all laughing and having a good time. Mixed Reality 2.0, Demeo's newest update, among other things, is heralding the return to couch co-op. A pass-through mode was already added to the game a while back, but this update adds a few new features. The first is called co-location. In the past, it didn't make sense for you and all your friends to get together in the same place with your Quest headsets for some local multiplayer, unless you wanted to risk punching one another. Co-location allows you and other players to see and interact with the same asset. In this case, that's a Demeo game board. As the host, you simply go on the pass-through and anchor your board to a specific spot in your play space, like your dining room table, then all your friends join the game and they're all looking at your board. I'm expecting co-location to be a big part of mixed reality moving forward, especially in tabletop and creative sandbox games. Since you're all in mixed reality and can see each other's real bodies, there's no threat of accidental smacking of hands and arms, and it becomes a more communal experience. Speaking of hands, this update is also adding hand tracking to the game. Most gamers won't understand this, but one of VR's biggest points of friction are actually the controllers. Devs have been dabbling in hand tracking for years, probably longer than most of you would think, but the technology wasn't always advanced enough until the last couple of years to be able to move with any real sense of speed. You have to be very deliberate with your motions, and for the most part keep your hands in front of your headset for the tracking to function properly. Thankfully, this is rapidly improved. Meta released 2 major hand tracking updates last year that allows for more specific finger gesturing, better tracking during fast hand movement, and a predictive algorithm that allows the headset to estimate where your hands were if they are partially out of view of the cameras. That system is now the standard on the Quest platform. What we're doing here is seeing the ability for friends, family, even co-workers to gather around the table in a throwback fashion. The last 2 notable additions are room decorations. While you're in mixed reality, you can also add virtual posters and lamps to your real-world environment to help set the tone for the game. Also, if you played Pixel Ripped 1978, you may have noticed some Demeo Easter eggs in the game. Now it's all coming full circle, because if you look around the basement environment in Demeo, you will see elements from Pixel Ripped. This entire update is available on the Quest platform for free right now. I should mention this update is not coming to Quest 1. Quest 1 is getting the final update today, and that will bring Demeo basically to end of life on that headset. The game will still be playable on Quest 1, but will no longer be updated, and crossplay with other VR headsets will be discontinued. You will be able to match up with other Quest 1 owners, but no longer with any other platforms. Lastly, Resolution has announced that Demeo will be ported to 2 new platforms. The flatscreen version of the game will soon be released on Mac, and Demeo is also coming to the Apple Vision Pro. With Demeo's recent updates basically making the entire game playable in mixed reality with hand tracking, it feels like a perfect fit for AVP, since Apple has put an emphasis on their headset only using hand tracking. It's also encouraging to see one of VR's biggest developers in that ecosystem, given most of the VR community was convinced Apple wanted nothing to do with the games and experiences we've all grown to know and love. Frankly, Demeo is going to look spectacular in mixed reality on that headset with those lenses and those panels. For $3,500, it better look good. Overall, Resolution Games is really doubling down on mixed reality. They created a full team internally to work on MR projects, and right now half of their development team is on mixed reality projects. In addition to Demeo, their free-to-play 1v1 combat shooter Blast On got a really interesting MR mode where your environment is stylized with a neon color motif. Especially on the Quest 2 and its not so great black and white pass-through, it looks pretty damn cool. They also have their mixed reality room scale shooter Spatial Ops available on App Lab right now. Their upcoming game, Demeo Battles, will also have a mixed reality mode, and they have multiple MR projects being developed for next year and beyond. Whether those platforms use controllers or hand tracking. Let me know down in the comments if you have or you're going to try Demeo or any other game in mixed reality. I'm personally excited to see what developers can do with MR, because it feels like a new sandbox for creative people, way more creative than me to play in. There will be a fair amount of mixed reality game coverage on this channel moving forward. Matter of fact, if you want a good list of mixed reality games available now and coming soon, click the video on the screen right now, and as always, thank you for watching.